Okay, so this is the Adobe Express text to image generation session. We're going to dive into it in a bit here. It'll be a lot of I do, you do, to kind of explore, have some fun, to see what options that you can do with this tool. I'm Mike. I am the DLC in the southwestern area. We have Caitlin, who is in the central area, and Jessica, who is in the northeastern area. They will be with us. I'm going to pass over to Caitlin in a couple minutes, and Jessica will be here to monitor the chat. She'll be sending you a lot of links. So as we talk, those links will be there for you so you can access them. So if you can, before we start, if you could put your name, your school, and your role in the chat, just to kind of get a gauge of who is here and what kind of roles, grade levels we have in attendance. So take a couple seconds to do that. And also, if you can make sure you are muted, that would be very helpful too. I think one of the best things about this tool we're going to be looking at is it's very versatile. You could use it in any subject, any grade level, whatever you teach. You don't even have to be a classroom teacher to have kids on your roster to be able to find this tool beneficial. So here we go. We got all the names coming in now. Nice, nice, perfect, awesome. Thank you all for coming. We really appreciate you taking the time out of your day to learn a little bit with us. All right, so today is actually National AI Literacy Day, nationwide, not just in Wake County. But the reason why we are doing this day of webinars is to kind of spread the awareness and understanding of AI, which is the whole point of National AI Literacy Day. We have several opportunities today. I know we've already had one at 8, 9, and 10, and then we have this one. We also have sessions coming up every hour from 12 to 3. So if you are able, please tune back in at 12, at 1, at 2, and at 3. And we're just going to kind of dive into different opportunities that you have as teachers, as staff, to explore with AI, so you can learn a little bit more. The goals of this session, so we're going to explore Adobe Express. We're going to take it as if you have never been exposed to it. So if you have not been exposed to it, don't be scared. We're going to take it step by step, what it is, how to get to it, kind of explore the homepage, see what options you have. And then once we do that, then we're going to get into actually using it and to create AI generated images that you can use with your students. Your students have access to this K through 12. So no matter what grade you teach, students can access this too for free. So it's important to point out. Anything that we do today, your students can do too. So you can use this as you prepare for your teacher stuff or as you prepare the lesson plans with your students. So good thing to point out and to know. Caitlin's is going to show you in a hot second how to add this to our portal, but there is a helpful guide that we have that we're going to send you. You can also click that image if you're on the slides. The bit.ly is in the bottom left there. This is kind of taking you through how to add this to your Wake ID portal. If you are not familiar with adding apps, very easy. The way that you're going to add it is the exact same way your students are going to be able to add it. So it's very easy, and this guide can kind of take you through step by step how to do that. I'm going to toss it over to Caitlin, and she's going to dive into that right now.
All right. Good morning, everyone. It's so good to see you all today. Before we jump in, I do want to make sure that it's clear for everyone. Adobe Express is a tool that is provided by the county. It is approved for everyone to use from kindergarten all the way to 12th grade, and it is free for use. In order to access that, we're just going to start at the very beginning, and y'all are going to just kind of have to bear with me. I did do virtual academy teaching for a year, but it has been a while, so I am relearning how to do all of this at once. So we're just going to hop over into our Wake ID portal. And like Mike was saying, it's very easy to add Adobe Express. You're going to find the plus button that's in your portal. You're going to click on that plus button. And typically it pops up right here. It's one of the first things. If it's not, you can just go in the search bar and you can search Adobe Express and it will pop up for you. For me, I already have it, so it says remove. But for you, if you don't have it, you're going to see a blue add button. You're going to click on that and exit out of it. And you should see it right about here. It should be the very next thing on your app list. So once you have done that, we're going to go ahead and open Adobe Express. And we are going to talk about how you use text to image generation. But before we do, I want to give you a quick tour in case you aren't familiar with Adobe Express. I think it's helpful just to kind of know some of the things that you're looking at so you're not overwhelmed to begin with. So this is the home page of Adobe Express. I'm going to turn your attention over here on the left-hand side. This is your homepage navigation. So anytime that you need to get back to this page in Adobe Express, you're going to click on the rainbow A that's right here. It's going to bring you right back to this page. Anytime you work on a project in Adobe Express, you're going to see it in one of two places. If it's something that has been recently done, like you opened it yesterday and you need to go back to it, it's typically going to be down here on the bottom in the Recents banner. But if it's been a while since you've opened it, you're going to click on this Your Stuff folder, and it's going to be housed in here. So you can see all of the crazy projects that we have worked on recently. I'm going to skip down here and show you the templates button. This is really valuable as a teacher. If you click on this templates button, it is going to give you pre-made templates of pretty much any kind of design that you can think of: flyers, infographics, presentations, and anything in between. I also really like this one because you can filter based on what you want the students to do. You can filter based on your subject. So here's language arts, social studies, science, math. By your grade level, it'll give you some good ideas for your lower elementary teachers, your upper elementary, and of course, middle and high school teachers. I can't forget about you either. So it's just really nice to see what's available and make it easy for you. The next over on the navigation bar is the Learn button. This is going to be helpful for after our 30 minutes today. This is going to be really quick, but you're probably going to want to dive into Adobe Express even more. This is a tutorial section where it shows you step by step on how to do specific projects. This is a really great place to come back to. And then finally, we have Educator Resources, which is another hidden gem. This has projects for different subjects that are already put together. It's like your little inspiration hub for how you can use Adobe Express in your classroom and in your subject specifically. I'm going to go back to the home page here, and then I'm going to point out, these are your quick starts for different projects. You'll see right here, this is a quick start for making a video, creating a graphic, building a web page. Animate Your Voice is a fun project. We're not going to have time to go into it today, but if you're curious, definitely look into it or contact your DLC. This is going to let you or your students create a video with a custom background and a character. You record your voice, and then it mashes the two together and then syncs your what you're saying to the character and comes out with a really cute video. So definitely worth exploring. As you scroll down the page, you're going to see some suggested quick actions. I like to point these out because these are fun little things that make it easy to do things like merging two PDFs, which I just had to do the other day, made it super easy. You can split files, you can edit PDFs really easily, you can generate QR codes if you need to. So lots of things that would be helpful sometimes, but you just don't know where to go to get it done. Usually Adobe Express has a place where you can do that. As you scroll down, another really cool thing is guided activities. We are actually going to go through one of those today, but I like guided activities because it gives you an activity, but also gives you a step-by-step guide on the right-hand side of each part in editing your project. It makes it just seamless, and it's a really great place to start when you are just beginning. I do want to just point out for every section as we scroll down, you're going to see a view all button. It's kind of tucked away here on the right-hand side. If you click on that, it's going to expand and it's going to show you all of the projects they have that belong in that specific category. As you scroll down further, you're going to see templates for things. So this is templates for class projects and posters. Again, if I click view all, I'm going to see more of those. I'm going to keep scrolling down. You can see, you can do some custom text, just all kinds of things. I do recommend that when you open Adobe Express, you make sure that you have quite a chunk of time set aside because it can sometimes be a rabbit hole. So now that we've done a basic tour of the homepage and some of the things that you have available, we are going to jump into the text to image generator. Now, normally on the homepage, there is a big tile that is about this size, but it has a text box here where you can just start typing text. Periodically, that does change, but usually it comes back after a few weeks. It looks like right now Adobe Express wants to highlight one of these getting started projects. So this is a great project for us to actually interact with the text to image generator. So we are going to click on get started on this large tile. And it is worth pointing out that you can access the text to image generator within any project that you're doing. It doesn't have to just be this one. You can start your own. You can put your own AI image in a project, in a flyer, anything that you want to create, you can do this. All right, so this is the alter ego project. And like I was saying, this is one of the guided projects. So you'll see right here on the side, it has the directions for you. There's a little video that you can watch. You have some directions here and then get started. And now here are your step-by-step directions on exactly what to do. I'm going to exit out of that because I'm going to guide you through this myself today. But if you are exploring on your own, that is a great resource for you to keep coming back to. What I'm going to do to access the image generator, since there's already an image here, I can click on that image and it's going to bring me to this page and you're going to see generate image right here. But I also do want to show you how to access this when there's not an image on the page for you already. Anytime you are in a project, you can come right here to the media button, click on media. You go to Photos at the top tab, and then you'll see Generate Image. And then you're going to choose whether you want it to be a square or landscape, portrait, or widescreen. That's completely up to you and your project. I'm going to go ahead and just pick square for this one. All right, and then this is going to insert a new image on top of it. All right, now for our purposes today, I'm going to delete that and I'm just going to replace the image that's already here, but now you know how to do that on your own if you'd like. So I'm going to click on our little furry friend right here. I'm going to click on generate image. And this is what the image generator looks like when you have it open. So first you're going to see a text box right here. And this is where you describe exactly what you want in your picture. Now for alter ego, what we're doing is we are creating a mashup of two critters, and they're supposed to describe something about yourself. In this guided project, Adobe Express has already told us what they put in to create this little otter-squirrel combination. So they typed a creature that is a fusion of an otter and a squirrel with blue fur and loves to read. So definitely notice how he had some descriptive words. It's blue, it's furry. Whatever you want to see in your alter ego is what you're going to describe. So I'm going to edit this, and I'm just going to take out the animals. My husband loves otters, but my favorite is a polar bear. So I'm going to ask for a creature that is a fusion of a polar bear and a fox. We'll see what that looks like. Now, my favorite color is purple. So I'm going to ask for purple fur And I'm actually going to leave it as loves to read because that is one of my favorite hobbies. But maybe for you, it's your animal is surfing or skateboarding or hiking. You can include anything that you would like that describes you. Once you have your text, you could just go ahead and generate an image and it will spit something out for you. But you also have some customization options that you have here. So first, you can decide what content type you want it to be. So do you want it to be a photo, which is going to be more realistic, or maybe a graphic, or do you want art? I'm going to stick with art, and I sort of have my own custom style that I do every time we do Adobe Express. So I love watercolor. So you can see here, you have different options for movements or themes or techniques. Under techniques, these are different kind of art styles. You have painting, splattering. I'm going to scroll down. Here's watercolor right here. So I always try watercolor. And then under effects, I always scroll down and I choose neon because I love vibrant color. Neon's always going to give you some vibrant color in there. You can choose more than one under the styles and it will remember. You'll see right here, it's telling me I've got 2 options. Once you've made your selections, you are going to click on generate. It is going to take a minute. So if you're using this with students, you're going to have to teach them to exercise some patience. And it's thinking, and there we go. So now it's given me my polar bear fox with purple fur, but also on the side, it's given me 4 additional options. And maybe I don't know that I like that one better. This one's I like that one. That one's pretty cute. Okay, so you just click on one of the options that you want. It will switch it out for you. If you don't like any of the 4, you do have the option to generate more right here. It will generate 4 more. It's going to take a little more time to think. And you can keep doing that. But I will warn you that the more you click generate more, the further away your generations are going to get from something that you actually want. I'm going to go with this guy. He looks pretty cute. So that's what I'm going to stick with. But let's say that on your first generation, you didn't get what you wanted. You really weren't happy with it. You can always go back and you can edit your text and you can change what you put in to begin with. This is a great exercise, especially for lower elementary students with descriptive writing. A lot of them think that what they're writing is descriptive, but they're going to pop it in here and they're going to find out that it is not descriptive and they're not getting the images that they're imagining. So that's just one activity that you could use this for with students. When you are finished with this, you are going, if you want access to it outside of Adobe Express, so maybe you want to put it in a Google slide that you've done, or you want to share it somewhere, you're going to download this because essentially you've created an image and we're going to download it to save it. The download button is right here beside the share button. It can be kind of hidden sometimes. When you click the download button, you are going to have different options for how you want to download it. For an image, you can choose a PNG or a JPG. You could also make a PDF if you need to, but usually not for an image. Also, really quickly, I'm going to add a page in here so you can see when you have a project with multiple pages and you click on the download button, you're going to have an option between selected pages and all pages. If you want to download all of your pages, you need to make sure that you have that all pages because sometimes it goes to only selected pages. So just be aware that you're going to have to change that if you have multiple pages in a project. And with that, I'm going to kick it back over to Mike for any questions that you have.
Awesome. Thank you, Caitlin. So there are so many things that you can do with Express, not just the text image. Caitlin and I actually did a presentation at NC Ties this March, I guess it was a couple of weeks ago. And the focus of that session was 10 different projects you can do with Adobe Express. So I put it in the link, I put a link in the chat there of a folder with 10 different task cards that you can make a copy of them, edit them however you want, but it'll take your students through how to do different tasks. One of them being how to make an image. So if you're still unsure about how to make an image, one of those task cards in there will kind of take you through step by step how to do that, which, like I said, you can then make a copy of it, post it in Canvas, and use it for a project or an exercise or practice with your students. Does anyone have any questions or comments, or maybe how they've used Adobe Express to, it's always nice to hear from other perspectives, from people who may be teaching something different. I know one of the things that a group of teachers use it for is they make an image, and they're not sold on Adobe Express presentation. They're still sold on Google Slides because it works with Canvas. So they make an image in Adobe Express, download it to their computer, and then in their Google Slides, they just upload that image in there. So they keep their same Google Slides, format that they're comfortable with, that they're used to, but now they're incorporating the images from Adobe Express in there. And one of the ways that they do this is they have an image on the board, and they use it as like the first thing in the morning for their students. It's kind of like that creative writing piece that Caitlin was talking about. And they just kind of have the students write down, what do you hear? What do you think is going on, etc. Or they take it the other way and say, what do you think the prompt was that I put to get this image? So the students are then looking at, what kind of descriptive things are in this image that I can put to kind of predict what the prompt was. So you kind of go through it, and then the teacher then reveals what the prompt was, and the students kind of learn from that and kind of see, oh, okay, well, I didn't include that detail, or oh, that's what that's called right there. So that could be a good exercise to do just in the morning, to get those brain juices flowing. Does anyone have any questions? If not, we will move on to some panel discussions. All right. So the first one is, what are some practical ways educators can use AI generated images in the classroom? So I just told you one way. You can use it for your own presentations. You can use it for creative writing practices with your students. Has anyone else used AI generated images for their work or for their students' work that you would like to share in the chat? Or if you want to raise your hand, you can come on mic. Yeah, Marla.
Let me see if I can figure this out. So we've used it with math I'm the arts integration coordinator over at East Millbrook. So I've used it with using math, or they have to create a slideshow with themselves in using real life slope examples. So it might be themselves, a little generator of a character riding on a roller coaster, or, showing the up slope or a down slope. And then each group, they work as a team. My only downfall that I've seen so far is working collaboratively tends to make us a little slower. That's it. But the ideas are great. And I love Adobe. I'm constantly pushing it with my teachers. So I think it's great.
Awesome. And that's for math class, yeah?
We've used it in math. I've used it in science, where they actually took an underground travel where they had to go through the, I'm sorry, I'm drawing a blank on it, where the current goes, they have to follow the current, and then they have to go down and explore. So their little character is going down under, and then they talk about what they might find. And each panel is a different thing for the travel.
That's cool.
Yeah. It works out good.
Yeah, nice. Thanks for sharing. That's awesome. Does anyone else have any other ways? Can teachers create classrooms using Adobe Express? Man, that's a great question. So there is a feature on Adobe Express called Classrooms along that left-hand side right there, where you can access your stuff and whatnot. You can use it. It is a good way to, you can have students join it. It's kind of like a Google Classroom kind of feel. and you can make an assignment in there, and then it'll just automatically be pushed out to your students. I would be aware that, you know, that the policy with that may be changing. It's just, I would just be aware that, you know, it may not always be available. So yeah, so definitely something to be aware of with that. But it is super cool though, yeah. Does anyone else have any? At the elementary level, it's difficult for students to share their work assignments without the. You're right. You're totally right, Amanda. I feel that. You know, there is the option of them hitting share and then you making a Canvas assignment. You can do the, you know, whether it be with the, you know, the submission type can be URL. They can paste it there. Definitely, yeah, definitely an extra step. Doable. If you would like help with that, though, we can definitely help out with that to make that a little bit more easier and find maybe alternatives. One thing that I will point out is that times where I've been in classrooms, this has been like a hot topic in the last like 8 months, I want to say. Your DLCs can come in, they can train your students. We have a template that we've made to kind of walk them through. Here's how you edit this, here's how you add this, here's how you change this, to kind of walk them through. So when you do use Express with like your content, they'll be able to use it confidently. We don't always like to teach both content and a new tool at the same time. We like to start out by teaching the new tool and then teaching something with the content. But your DLCs are definitely able to help you with that. One safeguard that I do want to mention about Adobe Express is that it will prevent you or your students from creating images that are deemed inappropriate. There are certain words that if you type them in the prompt, it won't make an image. So we were at a school earlier this past week, and we were focusing on the American Revolution. And they wanted to do, you know, war. There was something involving war that the kids said, hey, I can't make an image. So that was going on. There'll be a little red bar at the bottom that'll pop up and say, you know, one or more of these words go against guidelines. So don't let that stop you from trying it. If you're worried maybe my students are going to make inappropriate images, it won't let you. So that is something good to know.
I even tried the word chubby once, and it would not let me do anything with the word chubby. So it is very strict.
There you go. So we only have 2 more minutes left. So we're gonna move on to honor the time that we talked about. So like I said, your DLCs, digital learning coordinators, we are able to come to the school, train you on these, train your students. We often go to PLCs, talk to them. How do you want to use it? What are your thoughts? And then even get a time where we can come in the classroom. So that is an option for you. Don't miss out on that. And lastly, as we close out here for the last minute, there's a Google form that we're going to post in the chat. Thank you, Jessica. It is a Google form about this session, and there's an option if you want any kind of DLC follow-up. So it's kind of both. What you'll do is you'll put your name in, hit next, you'll put in what area you are, and then there are some questions at the end. And the reason why we have what area you are is because there are 2 DLCs per area. So we can kind of sort those to those DLCs very easily. And there is a link in the form, also on the site that was just posted, to determine what area you are if you don't know. You can also find out who your DLCs are if you are unaware of that too. So if you can take a minute to complete that, that would be super helpful to us. And once again, really, really appreciate you guys coming to the session. We have one every hour at the top of the hour. So we'll have our next one at 12. We have one at 1, one at 2, and one at 3. So we look forward to seeing you in future sessions today.
Thanks so much for your time, everybody.